You're Prime Minister, you've just been voted in.
Yes, oh gosh. What a nightmare.
So many people to thank.
So many debts to pay off. I'm always wondering why education turned out to be as bad as it is, because I think it is really tragic. You know, if you think that children really are total learning machines, that's all they are. They're these little, incredibly acquisitive, curious things that want to learn. You know, their whole genetic structure is based on wanting to learn. And somehow, by the age of about 11, we've persuaded them not to. We've managed to beat it out of them. I think that's an amazing achievement. How did we come up with something that so efficiently does the opposite of what we want? With art education, what has happened is that, first of all, governments don't really understand what the point of art schools is. They think it's kind of nice, and you have to appease arty people by letting them have their art schools. But there's no concept of what really the role of art and culture is within a society, particularly in England. If you can't sort of make a sort of an easy bottom line spreadsheet about its benefits, then it's assumed that probably there are no benefits. And I would very much argue against that attitude. If you were teaching history and you'd never heard of teaching history before, which end would you start at? Would you start at the beginning, or would you start at the end? I would start at the end. I would start with us. I'd say, okay, we're going to learn history. I want you to go and talk to your parents and find out what the Second World War was like, or, you know, the Vietnam War, or whatever. And I want you then to speak to your grandparents and find out what it was like when they were young. So I would start history from this end, from where you are now. Instead of, you know, when I learned history at school, we were learning about things like the Visigoths. Who the Visigoths? It's a fundamental assumption of history teaching that you start in the distant past and work to the present. That seems to me completely the wrong way of doing it. You know, there are so many fundamental concepts of education that can do with rethinking. And they should really all start from this assumption that what children most want to do is to learn. You don't have to persuade them. You simply have to find a way of putting the things that you would like them to learn about in their way, so that this natural, enormous appetite they have will consume those things rather than other things, or as well as them.